So the other day, a follower of Joe's from his stream popped into my stream, and they're like, "Oh, Papa Guy, can you reach out to Joe?" Somebody had said some questionable stuff to him multiple times in his stream. They said that they were going to take their own life. And the fan was worried that Joe was feeling fucked up about it. And I talked to Joe, he's feeling fine about it. But he wanted to talk about parasocial relationships. And so basically what a parasocial relationship is, it's when viewers of like a particular content creator, regardless of the form of media, develops an some kind of an unhealthy attraction, not necessarily like sexual or physical, but some kind of like attraction or comfortability with the person that they're viewing in a way that they see them as maybe a friend, or they see them in a way where they would create like some form of a relationship where it may not necessarily be warranted. I would say that everybody to an extent engages in a parasocial relationship. There's probably like a back and forth where fans have an impact on their content creators, and then the content creators have an impact on their fans. And I think that Joe made a 4-part series about it, something that he believes in very much, which makes absolute sense. Joe's actually famous on TikTok. So this is what I always say: you're not really famous until you got 10 million followers. Okay, Joe's pretty much right there. This is when you're actually famous. When you're at like 2 million followers, like I'm at 2.3. You're like okay. You're famous in your town. The difference is that on social media, you have connections to people all over the world, right? Rather than just in a confined space. But I would say this is like, oh, hey, you're famous in your town. You know, you're a Miss Veiled Prophecy, Kimmy Schmidt, connected to the KKK. No, but like you're not as famous. Once you're like 10 million is when shit starts to really open up. I mean, look at like people like Joe Bart. And even JS, I know you guys don't like JS, I get, but you get my point. These are when you start getting famous. This is when you start getting famous. You start getting like noticed more than anything else. So anyway, he made a video on parasocial relationships. So let's take a look.
This is my impression.
This is not the first video of him talking about parasocial relationships. So let's start with the actual first video.
This is something that I've always wanted to talk about, parasocial relationships. If you don't know what a parasocial relationship is, it's essentially when somebody that watches a creator, an actor, a singer, blah, 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 for a long period of time, begins to get to know them and like them and view them as a friend.
I would say they feel like they get to know them. One of the things, and like, for better or for worse, is that depending on your content creator, is depending on how well you actually get to know them. There are a lot of content creators who put out a very false persona out there. Now, myself, I don't even want to say I can't do that. Or I don't want to say that I don't do that. I'm not like some kind of virtuous, person. It's more that I can't do that any longer. When I first started streaming, I had like a perception of myself that I wanted to put out there, where I was like, oh, you're always happy, you're always energetic, you're always excited. And as you stream consistently, especially streaming, I think this is unique to streaming because you're on for so long. Who you are as a person like drips out. So you start to see my bad days. You see my good days. You'll see my bad days. I'm not going to hide my bad days anymore. You see my angers. You see my frustrations. You'll see times where I'll have a bad take because I'm having a bad day. I might be exaggerating because of it. Because everybody has those times where they're in like a bad mood and they just start acting like a dick. And these things are all put on blast. And that's like a unique issue in and of itself, because people have a version of you that they see. And because they expect you to always be like the ideal version, they think that you're intentionally putting something out there, when a lot of the times when I put stuff out there that's not seen as particularly palatable, it's not because I actually necessarily believe in that thing. I might just be having a day where I'm fucking around in an aggressive tone. You get the point that I'm trying to make. Anyway,
friend, even though that person that they view as a friend has no idea who they are. The reason I wanted to address this is because it's happening to me, specifically on this platform, not so much on Twitch and YouTube. You guys should view me as an entertainment outlet. You should not view me as a friend. The reason being
it's fucked up, Joe. I thought we were friends. I thought we were going to go to the Golden Corral together, but apparently I'm wrong.
Because I don't know you guys. I don't know the vast majority of my followers. I know a few of you.
I know all 2.3 million of my followers by your names. Test me on it. I can start. James, John, Bill, Christine. Those are probably followers of. I mean, there's 2.3 million people, so I have to be. I've had to have gotten all of them correct. What's your name? Gordon, Bill, Catherine, William. I feel like I've gotten them all. Raymond, I got them all.
But the
Dinesh, I don't know.
majority of you, I don't
Muhammad.
know your name.
Muhammad's, I think, the most popular name in the world. One of them is probably Muhammad. Muhammad? All white names. Oh, fuck. What do you want me to say? Jamal? You guys are acting like fucking Raymond can't be a black person's name. You guys are racist. Fuck you. All right?
I don't know what you look like. I don't know where you're from. I don't know anything about you. So if you view me as a friend and you say something like, I love you so much, I'll never stop loving you, like, that's weird. Because I don't know you. And I know it's...
You know what's so interesting about that? Is that, like, I can understand why that's weird to a lot of people. Like, you see, oh, I love you. Because, like, I get why Joe is a normal person. For me, I used to tell my coworkers that I loved them. We just did that. So I worked with a lot of people, a lot of older men, especially. And it's actually a funny story. You ever in those situations where you're saying goodbye to somebody and then you tell them that you love them out of like habit to saying like you love your partner or something. So you're like, all right, peace out, I love you. I did that to my like 42-year-old Hispanic coworker once. I said, I love you. And then he just said, I love you too. And I was like, all right. And that's just what we started to do. So we just started to say, I love you to everybody. So it started in like our bay. And then the entire shop used to say, I love you when we like would walk away. And that just became like the whole joke of it. So that's actually comfortable for me because to me, it's a joke. Saying I love you is like a joke.
Seems like I know you because you know me so well, but I don't. This is something that I've always wanted to...
Oh. Excellent. Part 2.
This is part 2 in my experience with parasocial relationships. If you don't know what parasocial relationships are, go fucking watch part 1. I wanted to talk about when people come to me depressed or suicidal. This has happened a lot on my Twitch stream when I will essentially end what I'm doing on stream to talk to a person in my chat that is very suicidal at the moment. And I am glad that I can help you guys. I'm glad that I can somewhat be there for people that are going through that because I have a lot of family members and a lot of friends that are diagnosed with depression. And I know a lot of people that have killed themselves that I am somewhat close with. The problem is some of you will come to me not just to like talk it out, but to get help from me. And I only can help to an extent. I'm 19. I'm not a therapist.
Yeah, I mean, that shit's heavy. That happens in my stream every once in a while. The Discord, it happens every once in a while. It's a good thing that you guys reach out, by the way. It's a great thing. If you reaching out to anybody is progress. And it makes sense that you'd want to reach out to somebody that you view as like a friendly figure. But that's not something that all content creators... It can make people very uncomfortable. Unfortunately, you know, it's not even an ideal situation because from the perspective of the person that's trying to vent, it's good that you're coming out. It's great that you're saying something to somebody. From a content creator perspective, it can get a bit overwhelming because if you hear that a lot, so sometimes you hear this kind of stuff a lot and you're asked for advice a lot and like you're not even necessarily the person that should be giving you that advice and it fucks you up, you know, because the responsible thing sometimes is to say, I can't help you. And then, because, like, sometimes you can't help somebody. Sometimes you could give them bad advice. All I could say is, you know, if you're feeling this way, you should seek, like, mental help, like a therapist's help. And I've seen a therapist before. You know, it's a fucked up scenario.
I'm not a genius. I don't know how to solve those issues. Only experts do. The reason I'm making this video is because
not even
if you're
experts
one of those
do
people,
sometimes.
I'm advising you to go get help, like a therapist, rather than just go to me, because I can't solve everything. This is part 2 in my experience with...
It's true. Should have made it one part, Joe. What are you doing?
This is going to be...
He's playing the algorithm. He's making these 33.5 seconds long. Perfect time. I don't know how long he's making them.
Part 3 and the last part about parasocial relationships. If you don't know what they are, go watch fucking part 1, then part 2, because it'll make sense if you go through the line. Anyways, what I wanted to speak about parasocial relationship-wise is when creators will abuse that power to gain monetary value from their fans. What I mean by that is...
It's like, hey guys, are you feeling depressed? Well, just give me your Amazon Prime sub and you won't be depressed anymore. So just so you guys know, if you type !Prime in the chat and you're feeling depressed, you can give me your free money, and you'll feel better. Oh shit.
Taketh on boats, just subscribe.
Thank you so much for the sub. Jesus Christ.
Horn Dog Boy 420 tipped $1.
Thank you.
Cringe.
Okay. Well, that's rude. Well, let's pause those.
Badman Buff 21 just
Thank you for the
subscribe.
Prime sub. Now you will feel magically better about your situation. So, there you go. That's all it takes. You're still depressed? Well, then just keep donating money stop donating money to me, please.
Is when creators will constantly tell their fans,
I
I love you so much. I love you guys. They don't. They don't. They love having you guys.
Hey, listen. Well,
as followers, they love making money off of you.
That's true.
They don't love you because they don't fucking know you. They're lying to you.
That's
so
true.
You like them more.
I love my audience. Like, I can't say I necessarily individually love you guys because I may not know you to that. Although I do a lot of fan interaction. We come in Discord. I know you guys. But yeah, no, that depends on, like, the perspective. It depends on, like, your word love. Like, yeah, of course. Like, I'm not, like, deeply in love with you guys. I'm sorry. Only the women in the chat, I'm in love with you. So, you know, make sure you DM me. But, you know, whatever you want. Make sure you're also legal age, okay? You know, just saying. Especially if you're, like, I'm going to say, like, 25-year-old plus attractive black woman. Anyway, we're getting off topic. My point is that there are different people. Like, I actually like you guys. Like, I like you guys. You guys are cool. We're all chill. I love you guys. We talk. Like, I'm interactive with my fans. But there are a lot of... And, like, I'm not going to say that I'm super personal with you guys. I'm not going to lie to you and say that, like, we're fucking best friends. Of course. I mean, we are. But no. But there are people who... There are people who interact with their audience and they like their audience and, like, they make time for their audience and they do care about, like, actually having an audience and having, like, the people in there. And then there are content creators who try to milk their audience dry and, like, they don't really give a fuck. It's really just all about, like, who that person is. And you could tell that person by how much, like, how human they are around you. So, like, if you have somebody who comes on and they're always happy and energetic, they're probably just blowing smoke right up your ass just so that they can maintain their audience. They want to maintain an image of who they are, you know? If you come on and, like, you'll show people your good and your bad days, that means that you're actually trying to develop, like, there are healthy relationships you could develop between, like, content creator and your fans. And it needs to be, like, maintain, like, a healthy amount of respect because, you know, obviously... You understand they can become very unhealthy if a dependency is generated in a bad way, or in general. But you understand my point is that there are people who will milk their followers emotionally.
So you watch them more. You can look at some actors and singers' contracts where they have a no dating contract.
That's
this
true.
Is because if they date somebody, it'll ruin the illusion for the fan fantasizing about meeting that person and eventually dating them when they know that will never happen.
I can almost guarantee that Joe and I saw the same TikTok about parasocial relationships like 2 or 3 days ago because I was at a where the fuck was I? Stu Leonard's. It was Stu Leonard's. Pretty interesting store. Pretty good. We got some nice food there. And I was just walking around on TikTok and I saw like this whole video on parasocial relationships. And I specifically remember listening to Asmongold talk about this stuff. By the way, Asmongold, I've been watching him more and more. WoW streamer, you know I love WoW, but he's actually a pretty intelligent guy. Point is that the reason that you would have a clause where you can't have a relationship is so that you, this is more towards like content creators that like boy band type people, where they want you to feel like you have a chance. That's more in those realms is where you'll see that more.
Which would in turn make the actor or singer lose more money. Like, I love entertaining you guys, I like having you guys around, but I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I love you when I don't know you. This is going to be part...
I'm going to do that. I think Joe's just trying to tell us that he's got a girlfriend or a boyfriend.
This is actually part 4 of Parasocial Relationships. I lied. If you don't know what they are, go watch all the other parts. I already know some people are going to watch the other fucking 3 parts and misinterpret it and be like, oh, Joe, what a dickhead. Oh, you're telling me you don't like your fans? What an asshole. No. Never fucking said that. I love you guys as a whole.
There you go,
I don't individually love you.
That's
because
fucked up.
I can't. I don't know you guys personally, so I can't individually love you. And you can say I'm an asshole for that, but that's me being real. I try to be as open as fucking possible with you guys about how being a creator actually is. That's how it is. A lot of creators won't say what I'm saying right now because they want you guys to feed in on that shit. They want you to fucking view them as a friend, love them, so you watch them more. They want you to grow an emotional attachment to them. You shouldn't. You should watch me because you find me entertaining. You shouldn't fucking like me like that. This is actually part 4 of Parasocial Relations.
Sounds like Joe Bart is trying to do a little reverse psychology here. He's trying to say, don't love me. Wink. No, but I understand what he's saying. You know, here's at the end of the day, I don't think that there's anything wrong with like developing like a relationship with a content creator that you view, especially on a more personalized platform. Because especially on Twitch, I think, because Twitch is like a very personalized platform where people will stop by for hours at a time. But you have to be careful about how close you get with the person for multiple reasons, especially when it comes to like more political political content creators, YouTubers, because you'll get parasocial relationships get very deep in a way where people will a lot of times just listen to the creator regardless of whether they're right or wrong, and that happens a lot. That's how you create echo chambers. That's why big content creators like, you know, Hassan and whatnot, they have so many people that will listen to them even when they're wrong and dumb. Because like, and which is going to happen regardless of who you are. I don't really know Hassan's content, but I use him as an example. My point is that people have good and bad days, and especially when you're showing people the true you, those come through. It doesn't take a lot to have a bad take. All it takes is like one less hour of sleep and like a stressful morning to all of a sudden have a bad take on a particular thing. That's all it really takes. And like when you look at somebody's word and you think of it as gospel, you're like, yeah, that must be right. But that person you're listening to isn't in their best frame of mind. So you need to always question your content creators, which also has a positive impact on the content creator themselves. Because I remember the other day, there was I watched a TikTok. This was a good thing for me because it helped me learn. I was watching a TikTok, and this TikToker, it was a black TikToker, and then they talked about, oh, I have black privilege. Well, there's there's like towns in my area or whatnot where I can't even go there without like threat of my own life. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably false. And then almost immediately a TikTok, one of my fans was like, no, Papa, take a look at this. And we looked into sundown towns. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. So like I was wrong, and that's a good thing. But imagine people listened to what I said and they just took it for fact because I was uneducated on something. And it's very easy to be uneducated, especially when you do like this type of content. Because especially in America, every state is like every state, every county, every town is like a different fucking culture. And it's so hard to really get everything pulled through. So, you know, that's what I wanted to end it off with. What I want to end off with is like, you can like your creators, you can even love your creators, and know that a lot of your creators actually do love you back as a group, as fans. Individually, of course, it's not realistic, but always have a healthy amount of skepticism with whoever you're consuming, especially if they have a lot of weight to their words and a lot of people listen to them. And don't be afraid to speak out respectively against your content creator, because you're only going to help them if you can educate them on how they're wrong. Hey everyone, if you liked that video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow my Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, Discord, and TikTok. All links are in the description. Also, check out my Patreon if you'd like to support me even more than you already do. Thank you so much, everyone. I love you all.